Volunteer firefighters have been watching state legislators very carefully this year. Because when the call comes for the firefighters, they pack up and race to the front lines of the largest fires no matter where in Colorado. When those volunteer firefighters have called on legislators for help, that call often goes unanswered. Here's Anusha Roy.
The need is dire.
Okay, am I going to buy this guy a new set of gear this year and keep him in good, compliant, good condition gear? Or do I go fix a truck?
When Hugo's volunteer fire chief saw the number of proposed wildfire bills moving through the Capitol, he thought,
we're finally being heard.
The proposed bills cover everything from funding more airborne firefighting resources, investigating the cause of fire so there's data to prevent them in the future, matching local governments when they set aside money for fire mitigation, and allocating millions for gear, training, and recruitment, which would especially help volunteer firefighters who make up a majority of firefighters in the state.
Volunteer firefighters shouldn't have to have a bake sale to get their new fire gear. That's just not okay.
Firefighters talked to Democratic Representative Lisa Cutter about a long list of issues.
Fending fires in their neighborhoods, sometimes lose their own homes. They don't have the proper equipment. They don't get reimbursed for expenses when they're taking time away from work.
We're in such a dire need.
Many times it's left to individual fire departments to fundraise or rely on local tax dollars while responding across the state.
We had a several thousand-acre fire out here just 2 weeks ago.
And fighting fires closer to home that many of us never heard about.
No, we never named it. We were too busy.
Chief Soul says it's when the record-breaking fires moved in on the Front Range that momentum changed at the Capitol.
Right in the population centers.
The interim committee I mentioned last summer, we really started, thinking, wow, we need to step this up.
So is this the state changing the way they look at local fire departments and volunteers?
I think so, and I certainly hope so.
And treating them more like state assets.
Trying to set up some more secure ongoing funding for them, definitely.
Probably the biggest year I've ever seen that fire has taken a forefront with legislators.
So one of the bills that did pass is the one that is setting aside money that especially is helping the volunteer firefighters. There are at least a half a dozen other ones that are still under consideration. With just under a week left in this session, there's a lot of people, Kyle, who are very anxiously waiting to find out what happens.
But you're saying there's a shift in the state strategy here.
Yeah, definitely, because what the firefighters were saying is right now, when there's a massive fire, the state basically shows up with a checkbook or a disaster declaration. They start paying for things. Now the state is trying to spend that money a lot earlier in the process, whether it's mitigation or propping up our volunteer firefighters so that they can contain these fires a lot more quickly, which then helps save millions of dollars, saves properties, and keeps these fires smaller.
All right, Anusha, thank you very much.